So it's funny because Netflix is labeling Neon Genesis Evangelion as a Netflix original, which is insanity. Okay, saw this out of comicbook.com and really just wanted to talk about it because this is kind of weird. Now, Netflix is claiming that Neon Genesis Evangelion is a Netflix original, and that goes under programming that they created, usually Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, Castlevania, stuff like that. They fund and create, so they claim it as an original. So they're apparently saying that this Neon Genesis Evangelion that's coming out, that they've redubbed, warrants it as an original status, which I find kind of weird. I mean, the show is pretty old. I think it's almost 20 years old or something like that. Very great anime, by the way. I am happy that it's coming back and that a lot of you that haven't maybe seen it can legally watch it now. I think that that's really good. It's a really good anime. In my opinion, it's one of the most must-see animes. You really should watch it if you've never seen it. It's pretty good. It's a lot of head spinning and really makes you think about some things. I think it's worth checking out if you've never seen it. Some people might not like it, but I think it's worth looking at. Now, this is coming out June 21st on Netflix. And if you don't know what's going on, is they redubbed it. So there was a 90s dub that was around forever until they stopped putting it out. Something's going on with it that they can't put it out on DVD or Blu-ray for some reason. I think it has to do with the fact that the publisher folded and the rights are held up somewhere. They can't re-release the show in America, which really stinks. I would love to have a Blu-ray remastered release of this show. But this is really weird to me that they, just because they're redubbing the show, that they think that this warrants it as a as a Netflix original. I guess you could say it is because they're paying for it, but at the same time, how much work goes into that really? So Twitter has some really crazy reactions to it. They're just as perplexed at this as I am. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So with Neon Genesis Evangelion's landfall on Netflix fast approaching on June 21st, fans are a bit confused at the recent announcement from Netflix that counted the series as a Netflix original. Obviously, it's a little hard for Evangelion to be a Netflix original when it was created decades prior to the inception of the streaming company in question. So Twitter had some fun with it. This is a time where we don't have to look at crazy stuff. It's just people having some general fun with it. Just showing some memes here, eye rolling, which I kind of agree with this one. It's like, no, this isn't a Netflix original. You didn't create this. You're just redubbing it. So people are having some fun with it. I like this Snoop Dogg one. So this is a good example of Twitter having fun. I know we see a lot of people doing crazy stuff on there all the time, but it's nice that we can have a little bit of ribbing. So I don't know. This is confusing to me because it seems like you're just adding this to add it, but at the same time, I don't know how I feel about it. This is not a Netflix original to me. I feel like maybe you dubbed it over so you could say it's a Netflix original. I definitely think that played a part in you guys redubbing it now, that you redubbed it just to label it a Netflix original. Because I don't think you would have done that if you had kept the old dub. So it starts to make sense to what was going on here. I guess if it has a better translation and stuff, it'll be justified. But as far as it being original, I think a lot of us were wondering when this went down, why are they redubbing it? Because the old dub's pretty good. If you've never seen it, like I said, you should watch it. It's a good dub, especially for the 90s. It's a damn good dub. And the fact that they redubbed it, recast it, all that stuff, really, really confused a lot of people. And now I think we have the answer. It's because they wanted to label it Netflix original. So, all right, so next up, I want to talk about Godzilla because it's not doing very good in the theaters, and I think that you guys should go see it if you haven't. I really enjoyed it. I think if you like Godzilla, you will like it. I wish it was doing better. because I definitely want the sequel to happen, which is going to be Kong versus Godzilla. I think it'd be awesome to get an updated version of that. And that's in the cards. They showed him in the movie, which was really cool. I guess King Kong and Godzilla are in a shared universe, which is pretty weird. I guess Universal has that whole Monsters universe thing going on. I don't know anything about that. I just know that I would love to see King Kong versus Godzilla. But for that to happen, I think it needs to make a little bit more money. So you guys should definitely go see it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Had a great movie. Had a good time watching it. And it's nice to see the critic come out. He's not blaming anybody, right? We usually see when this happens, you think about Star Wars with Rian Johnson, how he was trashing and bagging on people. You know, we get this guy comes out and he's classy about it. He says, I don't know what the critics or box office thought of Godzilla when I first fell in love with him 40 years ago, so I'm not about to start now. And this is responding to, thank you for not giving in to peer fandom or critics' pressure. So I think that that's pretty cool. He's staying classy and positive about it. I'm really hoping that we get the sequel. Apparently it's still on track. They say here, after opening below Warner Brothers Legendary's 50 through 55 million opening weekend expectations with a 49 million debut, King of Monsters has earned 190 worldwide since its May 31st release and is on track to finish as the lowest earning entry in the Monsterverse, behind 2014's Godzilla and Kong, both which earned over 500 million. It points out that there's a low approval rating from critics, but there's an 85% verified audience rating, which I think is pretty justifiable. We see critics disagreeing with fans all the time now, and when you disagree with them, they break down. They break down. Here's another quote from the director. It says, my local TV station had the old black and white Universal monsters, so I was subjected to it for years, the director said, and I fell in love with the character of Godzilla. And it's funny because when I got the job, I went back and looked at an old childhood Bible. I went to Catholic school, which is a much longer story, and I found an old Bible where I had drawn Godzilla in between the various Bible illustrations. So there's a picture of like the fall of Jericho, and then I added Godzilla. I figured if I add Godzilla to anything, it's better. So yeah, he's been a good friend for a very long time, so it's a dream come true. So you can take what you want about that. I'm sure that some people might get riled up, but keep in mind he was a kid when he did that, and you have to admit Godzilla does make just about anything better. So apparently the next in the franchise is a 2020 event, Godzilla vs. Kong, a crossover directed by Adam Wingard and starring King of Monsters Millie Bobby Brown and Kai Chandler. Apparently this is going to happen. I'm hoping. I really would like to see Godzilla vs. Kong. We saw him cameo in the movie twice. I think they showed some footage of him roaming around Kong Island. I didn't watch Kong Island, so I don't know if that was any good or not. But I would love to see this movie happen. I don't know if it's going to happen because they would have to justify it. They would have to justify it. And if this movie is not going to do good, I don't know if they're going to do that or not. So anyway, let me know what you think about Neon Genesis Evangelion as a Netflix original. Do you think it's stupid? Do you think it's just a way to make them seem like they are the authority on anime now? Trying to stick one up Crunchyroll. What do you think about Godzilla? Did you like the movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it because I'm wishing the movie did better. I would really want to see the series continue. And as far as Neon Genesis Evangelion on Netflix, do they have the other movies, so the end of Evangelion and Death and Rebirth? Because those kind of continue the story, and I think they're vital to the original series as far as getting the complete picture. So I'm wondering, do they have that? Did they get those movies? Are they going to have those on the streaming service, or is it just going to be the original series only? I'd like to know what's going on with that because, like I said, I think to really enjoy it, you need to have those two movies. The end of the series, if you didn't know, was running out of money, from what I understand, and they had to splice that together using old footage. It's very confusing to a lot of people, and you really got to watch it a couple of times to get it, I feel. And Death and Rebirth did a much better job of wrapping up the end of the series and making that kind of flow and feel a little bit better. So I'm hoping that those are on there. At least I can't wait to, at least new dub or not, sit down and watch this series again. It's been a long time since I watched the original. So make sure you check it out. Let me know what you think about this being a Netflix original. Let me know what you thought about Godzilla, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.